great war comes as we know it must. And the government says it's time for every citizen to go and fight to the death.
Welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Thanks for tuning in. I am rubbing my hands together here because this one is going to be fun. This is going to be controversial. And we are going to talk about something that I find very interesting in this game. You can see that I have Madogthefirst, Clan CSA 1 in his M46 Patton. Tier 9 American medium tank and a 357. Pretty good setup for him. He's on El Halouf, has spawned in the northeast, and is headed over to the standard brawling area. Patton's going to have a pretty good time over here with the gun depression, nice accuracy, pretty fast reload. So this is a good setup for Madogthefirst. But that's not controversial at all, is it? When he sent me this replay, he said, once in a lifetime chance to see a civil discussion in Watt, of all places, over who is at fault for the TK. Then he has a spoiler and he says, it was me for being greedy and driving in front. Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's see some pretty high-level gameplay out of Mad Dog. He sent quite a few replays in, and they are always worth watching because of the things he does in-game. So we will go ahead and get going with this. You can see that he's coming up to the ramp area. If you've got good depression and a decent turret, which this tank does, this is a great space for it, or a great micro position, as they call it. He will auto-aim that guy, come up over and pop him. He's at such a close range, and this gun is so accurate. That's a fantastic idea. He's just going to sit here, kill that guy off, and free damage all day long. So foolish thing for a scout to do, and Mad Dog punishes him for it. This AC-48 is in here. Nice shot on the guy coming across, and that's one of the reasons why this spot is good. If they need to get across, then you're going to punish them. Just not quite fast enough on the reload to get the T-71. Very close, though. Now watch what Mad Dog does right here. And he's really good at this, actually, with a lot of his gameplay. His baiting of shots is pretty fantastic. He'll just stick enough out there to maybe try to get you to take a shot. If he bounces it off the front armor, fantastic. If he only gets tracked, well, that's not as good because he can't jump in there, but at least he doesn't take damage. So he really tries to make people commit to a shot before he commits coming around the corner, whereas I tend to just kind of go around the corner there. But Mad Dog's pretty good at that. He's dropped 1,250, 78. Nice shot right in there. Wow, that's just right on the corner, so really nice placement. 78 assist damage. And now he's just working these guys. You want to stay tucked up on the side here because of artillery. That one spot where he is, the inside lane, as it were, is about as safe as you can get from artillery on that spot. You can be splashed, but he has picked the safest one. Now he's moving up. It looks like it's time to start chasing these guys a little bit or getting a little bit aggressive. He comes up to the inside. Now he is exposed to artillery right there. It's a hard shot because it's a backside hill. He has a 1375 getting these guys' attention, so he'll come over there and looks like he's trying to go for the hatch or just doesn't quite get there. But now these guys are in trouble because here they come. Nice shot into the lower hole. JP is hauling the mail right past him for some reason, not wanting to get shot. Mad Dog comes around. Oh, ram kill. No, not quite. Holy cow. And man, he just gets lit up by multiple enemies. Nice job with the kill. The ISU is just fired. So he's going to come in here while this guy's going to reload, use this good gun depression, and just kind of poke over and put another 460 into that guy. Now we're working with the Patton. Neither one of them are interested in being nuked by the ISU. Fair play there. Good news is that the artillery is gone. So that's a vulnerable spot to artillery. The other place is vulnerable too, and it looks like he doesn't have to worry about it based on what's spotted and what's been shooting. Get TDs up in this area. If they can get up on top or potentially out in this flat, they can sweep this whole ramp. But not an issue for Mad Dog, the first of his name, at least on this match. He's going to come up there. The T10 goes down. Now you'll see that Mad Dog is a one-shot, and we've got the AC-48 with the autoloader going on. He's going to pump a couple shots into the Malshin. But it looks like he doesn't have enough juice to put him down. So the Malshin's hurt. Malshin's kind of wandering around. Not really sure what he's doing, but he takes a shot into that lower vulnerable plate from Mad Dog. So what I'm going to do is stop the ride along with Mad Dog, and we're just going to kind of turn around and see what's going on. And we'll have this little discussion about TK and who is at fault. So I want you, before we get going, to think about this in your own mind. When there is a TK, in general, who is at fault? The guy who shoots or the guy who jumps out in front? Now, I realize that this is subjective and there are a lot of extenuating circumstances, but everybody probably has a general idea right off the bat in that scenario who is at fault. So let's take a look what happens here. These two guys are working together, and they have been kind of for most of the battle. Haven't really gotten each other's way, and they're trying to get to that Malshin right there. It is very difficult for an AC-48 or any casemate TD to kind of work this corner action right here, unless that big fatty shoots and they can come around and set up and start firing away. The AC-48 does have 100% hit points, and our hero of the story, Mad Dog, cannot afford to get hit by the Malshin. It's probably going to take him down. So he is working this corner like he has been beforehand. A little bit too much angle there in the Malshin, so we can't really get him. Okay, so now we're getting to the point of impact, figuratively and literally. The AC-48 is up right there, set up, trying to shoot into the Malshin. And we got Mad Dog right here. Now, this is Mad Dog's view, so he is not really paying attention to what the AC-48 is doing behind him. So let's see what happens here. He comes out. I'm going to get... Oh! Alright, so the AC-48 shoots Mad Dog in the back of the turret. We'll get to the discussion in a minute because you said, hey, it's a civil discussion about who's at fault. The AC-48 comes around, and you got Mad Dog saying sorry. AC-48 is currently clipping out. Now he backs up, and he's got time to talk. So the AC-48, that was my bad. Sorry now. Outstanding. So as far as that goes, that is exactly how that situation should go down from a chat standpoint. I always apologize if I shoot somebody. If I think I got in their way, I will probably apologize. But let's get to the question that I posed earlier that you had in your mind. Who was at fault? Mad Dog says it was his fault for jumping out in front and being greedy. I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm not as worried about the greedy thing. But I always liken this back to a shooting range. On a shooting range, or any time you fire a weapon for that matter, you are always responsible for clearing your field of fire. The person who pulled the trigger is always responsible for clearing their field of fire, and that is just simply, as far as I'm concerned, 100% true. There are extenuating circumstances. Mad Dog wasn't paying attention to the AC. He was moving back and forth. Yada yada. That can make, I would say, potentially a certain percentage of the fault his, if you want to look at it that way. Or it can be a contributing factor, if you want to look at it that way from an accident standpoint. But the causal factor to Mad Dog being TK'd is the AC-48, who had the opportunity to clear his field of fire, pulled the trigger, and hit Mad Dog and killed him. That doesn't mean you can't have a civil conversation about it. That doesn't make the AC-48, Mr. Dallin a bad person or a terrible player. But it does make the TK his fault. Now, the guy who took the hit, Mad Dog in this case, can accept responsibility, and that's obviously always their right to do so. But in my book, it's the person who shot. Now, is this world changing? Is this something that we need to worry too much about in World of Tanks? Not necessarily, but it is interesting to me, and it is definitely a controversial subject because there will be a lot of people more than likely coming down in the comments and describing about how I'm an idiot and I'm wrong. And fair enough, I hear you, but let's talk about it, see what people come up with. Again, though, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that TK was 100% Mr. Dallin fault, with some extenuating circumstances, obviously, of the situation. But good on both of them for a civil discussion on what was going down. Like I said, that's how it should be done. And they end up winning this. Mad Dog does a nice job, drops 37-56, no blocked, 576 assisted. I hope you guys like what you saw. As always, if you did, make sure you subscribe. And much like the discussion that was had between Dallin and Mad Dog, let's keep it civil. Later.